Very well done, everyone. Okay, cool. Let's move down. So on Tuesday, we looked at normal graphs. So we looked at our graphs that went through 0. We looked at graphs that didn't go through 0, and we figured out what their formula was. Who remembers what our normal equation for a straight line graph is? What equation am I looking for? What's the equation of a straight line graph? Madao, yes. What is our equation of a straight line graph? Oh, Madao, I can't hear you. I can see you're unmuted, but I can't hear anything you're saying.
Madao, you might have to log out and in again if you can hear us. If not, I'll just put on the chat for you.
It might be a headphone situation. Sometimes when you unplug your headphones and plug them back in, then it works. You can give that a try. But while you figure that out, I'm going to answer what's going on the chat over here. Yes, Aaliyah, yes, and Braden, absolutely. Your equation for a straight line graph is y equals mx plus c. Okay, so what did that m in that equation stand for? What does the m stand for? You can write your answers in the chat if you want to, guys. Cool, yes. Gradient, awesome.
Well done.
Okay. But what actually is a gradient? What's a gradient? What is it? What does it mean? What is it actually saying? Because a gradient's a weird word. What is a gradient? What word am I looking for? It's a word that starts with an S. What is a gradient? What is a gradient? Yes, a gradient is a gradient is the steepness or the slope of a graph. Okay, so it's either the steepness or the slope of a graph. All right, so that's saying basically, like, imagine you were running up a hill, and the steeper that hill is, the harder it is going to be to run. Okay, and so if the steepness is like this, then that's going to mean that it has a very high gradient, and if it's more shallow, then it has a lower gradient. So just think about it as steepness. Okay, so at the moment, I'm wanting to know about this graph here, this little green line that I've highlighted. If you were running on that road, do you think you'd be sad? Is it a big hill? What's the situation of that green line? What can you tell me about it? What can you tell me about this green line? Imagine you were standing on the side of this green line and you were trying to run through it. Would you be sad? Would you be happy? Leniko, can you tell me something about this green line?
It has a intercept of, it has an interception, ma'am. So
good. It has good. Perfect. What else can you tell me about this green line while I have you on the line?
So our coordinates is going to be, since we have, the 4 is in the y intercept, so it's going to be 0.
Yeah.
4.
Good. Okay. So basically, because our y values are the same, that's a 4 over there and that's a 4 over there, what we land up with is we have a gradient of 0. That's what's happening. Okay. We have this straight line, and so we have a gradient of 0. Unasi, how can I help?
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask, which one is the coordinates for x? Is it the -3?
This is x, and that's y.
No, ma'am, I'm asking, like, when we solve it, when we have to calculate the gradient.
Okay, when you're calculating the gradient, you're saying the change of y over the change of x.
Ma'am, I understand that. I'm saying for the x on the graph, when we
X on the intercept. The x
x-
on the intercept of y, where the line is intercepting with y, then the x value is not there. So Unati is confused.
Okay, have we gotten to what the answer was there? Did you lend a help? Has that helped?
Ma'am, I'm asking what are the coordinates for that x?
I don't know what X you're talking about, sweetheart. This is an X
That's
over
the one
here.
in the graph.
Yeah, this is the graph. That's an X coordinate. That's an X coordinate. That's my whole graph.
Ma'am, the one at the bottom.
Sweetheart, this X.
Level.
Yes.
Sweetheart, that's labeling the axis. That's telling you this is the X axis.
Ma'am, what?
There we go.
It's just telling you its name. It's saying that that's the X axis and that's the Y axis.
Ah.
There we go, Unati.
Oh my
It happens with
goodness,
everyone. It happens, Unati, with
No,
everyone.
Linda, do not justify this. That does not happen to everyone. Unati, I'm shocked.
I'm pro Unati, okay?
Oh my goodness, so much confusion. So much confusion. Hopefully that's all cleared up now though. Okay, let's try and focus again over here. So basically what we figured out is that we have a gradient of 0, okay, because there is no slope, there is no steepness. And so that's saying, well, that means that our m would be 0. So we would have y is equal to 0 times x. And like Lunico said, our y-intercept is 4, so our c value would be plus 4. But 0 times anything is equal to what? Like if I had 0 times 5, if I had 0 times 7, what is 0 times anything? Come on, guys. What is 0 times anything? 0, exactly. So basically, we could just write that as our whole equation for this green line is just going to be y is equal to 4. That's all we write. Okay, so whenever we have a straight horizontal line and that line is parallel to our x-axis, then its equation is just going to be y is equal to something. Okay, so if I had a line down here, let's do it in a different color so that you can see. Let's say we had a line down here, and I said that that intercept point there was -8, then the equation of that light blue line would be y is equal to -8. Okay. If I had a line up here and it was horizontal and I said that that number was 1, then that equation would be y is equal to 1. Okay, so whenever we have a horizontal line like that, we would just say y is equal to. That's all we do for a straight line. So it's actually much easier than having to go through this whole shit. So if we have no slope, it's just going to be y is equal to something. Okay, but don't worry, I'm going to give you a question like this just now. Then there's another weird one. So this is the first weird graph. The second weird graph looks like this. What's the difference between the first weird graph and the second weird graph? Okay, I'm going to highlight it in green so that you can see. What's the difference between my first weird graph and my second weird graph? Mwande, hello. How can I help? Mwande, you just need to unmute from your side. Okay. Brenda?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
the first graph is horizontal and the second one is vertical.
Yes, 100%. Beautiful. So well done. Okay, so this one here is horizontal and this one here is vertical. Okay, beautiful. Now, for this one, it's actually like a very sneaky thing. So Mhlengi, absolutely, it is parallel to our y-axis, okay? In this one, we don't actually have a gradient of 0. We have a gradient that is undefined. So in this first one, our gradient is equal to 0. And in the second one, our gradient is undefined. Does anyone remember how something becomes undefined? Does anyone remember how we get something that's undefined? We haven't done it for a long time, not since the beginning of the year. How do we know when something's undefined? When it doesn't make sense. I do wish that was the answer, but no. Mathematically, how do we know when yes, Catherine, awesome, when something is divided by 0. Okay, and the reason it would be divided by 0 here is because our x would equal 0. Okay, so in this case, our gradient would be undefined. So because of that, we can't use our y equals mx plus c situation at all. We just say what our x value is. So we look for our x-intercept. And over here, our x-intercept is -3. And so we would say x is equal to -3. Okay, so when we have, let's just highlight this. When we have a horizontal line, we're going to have y is equal to something. And when we have a vertical line, we're going to have an x is equal to something. Okay, let me quickly go through these questions and I'm going to give you 2 to try by yourself. Prince, Dean Prince, I'm not too sure what to call you here. How can I help? Okay, I've unmuted you from your side. You need to push a button on your screen so you can unmute. There we go. Hi, how can I help?
Well, I was not sure how to about the undefined, and then now I started understanding it after you explained to her.
Okay. I'll write a little thing over here and it might make a bit more sense. So when we work out our gradient, we look at the change of y over the change of x, right? Okay, so it doesn't really matter what the change of y is. I'm just going to write it like that. Our x values are both -3. So it would be -3 minus -3, which means we would have our change of y divided by 0. And because of that divided by 0, it would be undefined. Okay. So I'm going to give you one to do now. It's going to be quick. Don't panic about it. The most important thing to think of is it horizontal or is it vertical? Okay. Miriam, don't panic. This is a new type of graph, so it's something we haven't looked at before. It's just that we do have to know how to draw these graphs because sometimes they ask them to us in a bit of a funny way. But don't panic. It will all start coming together. Okay. All right. Maths is nasty sometimes, Kira, I know. We always like to give you exceptions to everything. Okay, so here is my graph. This is the graph I'm looking for. I'm looking for the equation of that yellow line. I am open to all of your answers. Please, can you type them in the chat for me and we'll see who gets them right, who gets them wrong, who's somewhere in between. I appreciate all answers because answers mean you are trying. So I would like to know what the equation of this yellow line is. Pop those answers in the chat. Okay, so we've got
people.
Taylor's given us one. Oh wait, I'll go back just now. This is grade 9. Imanati. Lichli. Okay, so we've got so far the answers that we've got are 0. We've got y is equal to -2. We've got 9. We've got another y is equal to -2, another 9. So I'm looking for the equation of this graph. I'm looking for the equation of this line. That is what I'm seeking. The equation of this line. Okay. Keep your answers coming in the chat, guys. Keep them coming. And then we're going to talk about which one is right. It's okay.
I'm not sure if Tati wants to ask a question on the hands up.
We can have a look. Tati, do you have a question?
Ma'am, is y equals to -2 because it is on the same line? Or
So is this the answer that you're trying to find out here?
no, ma'am, I'm just asking why is y equals to 2? Is it because the -2 on the same line as the y?
Yes, because so both of these values here for that y value are -2.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Miriam, I do see your question in the chat. you're welcome to ask questions. Oh, I see your hands popped up. Great. Miriam, how can I help? You just need to unmute on your side. Okay, we've got x is equal to -2. We've got y is equal to -2 plus 3. Okay. Yes, hi, how can I help? Okay, Miriam, what are you struggling to understand? Where are you feeling lost?
Y equals to -2.
So that you're cutting out, you're cutting out a little bit. Do you mind typing it in the chat for me so that we can see your question properly?
Okay.
Thank you. It's okay, Latavo. Okay, let's look at some of these answers and see which ones would be right and which ones would be wrong. Okay, so first of all, when we have a graph, we can't ever just have a number like that. So we can't just have 0, 9, -2, -6, because it's not telling us anything, okay? When we have an equation, remember the word equation means that we're going to have an equal sign, okay? When we have a normal line, so a line that has a slope, so a line that looks like something like that, or something like this, or even like more shallow, something like that, okay? So any line like that where there is some kind of slope, either positive or negative, we would have a graph that looks like y equals mx plus c, okay? So that's what our equation would look like in a normal graph situation. But in that, we have m, which is a gradient, okay? And in this case, we've got a straight line. It's a straight line. And when we have a straight line like this, it means that our gradient is 0. We have no gradient. The reason we have no gradient is because there is no slope, okay? So no slope means no gradient. And no gradient means m is equal to 0, okay? So because of that, this one over here can't be right. This one can't be right because it's also giving us an m situation. And this one can't be right because it's also giving us an m. Okay, so none of those can be right so far. So then we're left with this one over here and this one over here. So let's have a look at this x equals -2. If we're looking at x equals -2, that's telling us that somewhere on this line, we would have to have a point like there where our value would be on that line. But our line is never, ever, ever going to touch that point. And so because of that, this can't be our answer either. So the only answer that we would want here is y is equal to -2. It's because we have a straight horizontal line. Our y-intercept is -2. And so our full equation is just going to be y equals -2. So whenever we have a horizontal line like this, we would just write the equation y equals -2. Okay. Okay. Prince, yes, how can I help?
So ma'am, wait, where did the -2 come from? Because where did the -2 come from, ma'am?
The -2 came from the fact that our y-intercept was -2.
Yes.
That's where that -2 comes from.
Oh, so as soon as we have the -2 as the y-intercept, does that mean we don't go any further?
We don't need to go any further because it's a horizontal line. So we have no gradient. And so because there's no gradient, we don't have to find an m. We just look for our y-intercept.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure, no problem. Okay. Nice job to those of you who got there. Those of you who didn't, I hope that sort of talking through this has made some things make a bit more sense. Hopefully. Okay, if you'd like a screenshot of this page, you're welcome to take one. And then I'm going to quickly scroll up to the previous one so that those who wanted a screenshot can take one. And then we're going to move down to the next question. Okay, so just going to see if I can put this all in one. Okay. Just a reminder, because there are quite a few new people here who weren't here when I said this earlier. If this is your first lesson, or even if this is your second lesson and you're feeling a little bit stressed and panicked, please don't worry. It's very normal. This is our 6th lesson on this topic. And so, of course, you're feeling a little bit stressed. The best thing for you to do is to go onto the Watobe website and watch all of the videos prior to this one. And I promise it'll make things make more sense. Okay, I would like the equation of this graph now, please. I would like the equation of this graph. So this is the line that you are looking for. I would like the equation of that yellow line. Yeah, Brent, did you have a question?
No, ma'am, I would just like to answer.
Okay, for this one, just because I'd like to see everyone's answers, do you mind putting it in the chat for me? Just because I don't want to, thank you. Okay, let's have a look. So far our answer has been x equals to 3. Let's see if anyone has any different answers coming in. Anything you think the answer is, chuck it into the chat for me and we'll talk about it. Okay. Teresa, how can I help? Teresa, you just got to unmute on your side. Okay, so we've got lots of x equals 3s. We've got a couple of y equals 3s, and then we've got a y equals 2. Okay, let's try and talk through this one. Oh, Teresa, hi, how can I help?
Good, ma'am. I don't understand where x is equals to 3 came from.
Where what has come from, sorry?
Where?
Yolanda, did you catch that question? I think I'm missing a few words in the middle. I'm not too sure.
So I think, I'm not sure if this is what you mean, Teresa, that you're asking where does the 3 come from? So you're asking the 3 at the top or the 3 at the bottom? Which one?
Are you talking about those 3s?
I think he's out now.
Okay. Hopefully we'll end up answering it in the process. Okay, so let's have a chat through these and see which one of these is right. Okay. So let's start with the most strong and then we'll work through to the least strong and then we'll work, well, I suppose, I don't know if we really can have most strong and least strong. Anyway, we'll work our way to the correct answer. Okay, so over here we have got y is equal to 2. If I had a graph that was y is equal to 2, it would look like this. It would be a horizontal graph, okay? And my y-intercept would be 2. That graph would be y is equal to 2 because it's horizontal and my y value, because this is my y-axis, is equal to 2. Okay, so it's not going to be that graph. Then let's look at the next one. Then we've got y is equal to 3. Y is equal to 3 would also be a horizontal graph like that. Oh, let me make it a bit more accurate. Okay, and it would be going through a y-intercept of 3. That is what my red graph would look like. Okay, but this one is not a horizontal line. It is a vertical line. It is a vertical line and it has an x-intercept of 3. And because of that x-intercept, it's telling us that my equation must be x is equal to 3. Okay, so just to recap, guys, I'm going to draw 2 little things over here. When we have a vertical line like that, let's say that that was -3, then it's going to be x is equal to something, okay? And when we have a horizontal line like that, let's say this is -7, it's going to be a y is equal to something. Oh, good. Yeah, guys, sometimes it takes some time. Remember with math, it's like fitting a puzzle piece together. So don't be hard on yourself if it takes a little bit longer for things to fall into place. It's totally fine. We just have to fit all those puzzle pieces in. And then when we get it, and it feels better. Okay, if you'd like a screenshot of this page, please take one. And then I'm just going to draw us 2 little graphs just to test that everyone's on the same page. And then we're going to go into our brain break. Gianna, I'm very glad. And Mandisa. Okay. So I'm just going to draw us a quick graph here. Where's Nati gone? Since I teased her, now she's been very quiet. And I missed your voice, Nati, just so that you know.
Nati won.
Yeah, where's the Nati one gone? Now she's very quiet after I was teasing her. Nati one, I'm expecting answers for this one, hey? There we go. Okay. Okay, I have drawn 2 graphs. They're not the most beautiful, but there they are. I've got a blue graph and I have got a pink graph. I would like the equation for both of those graphs. And I don't need to know which color is which because I'll be able to see by the numbers that you use. So I would like the 2 equations of these 2 graphs in the chat. You can say this is equal to this is equal to this into the chat for me. And then we'll see who lands at getting it 100% right. But I would like the equation of the pink graph and the equation of the blue graph. And we'll see. Put them in the chat for me, guys. Lesedi, how can I help?
Sedi Laka. You have to press a button on your side. Hey, Sedi, if you want to talk to us, you must press on your side also.
Oh. Okay, I got the, but I was gonna answer.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take an answer. What are your answers? What's my equation of my pink graph?
For the pink graph, I think it is x is equals to 4, and then for the other graph that divides the x-axis and the y-axis is gonna be y is equals to -3. Is that
Yes,
correct?
well done, Lesedi. Nice job. Yes. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I feel like we are making some progress here. Is this one feeling a little bit easier now? Does it feel a little bit less stressful?
Yeah, I think that's the progress. Hey, my people.
Good.
Hey, my peps. Ah, you guys are awesome.
Nice job, guys. Okay, cool. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick brain break and then we're going to jump back into some work. Is it wrong if I say 4 - 3? Okay, that's an interesting question. So yes, it's not the equations that I'm looking for. If I asked you for the point of intersection, that's called a point of intersection, which is what we're going to be talking about just now. That point of intersection is 4 and -3. So if I asked for the point of intersection, then those coordinates would be beautiful. But I asked for the equations. So just be careful with that. Okay, cool. We're going to do a quick brain break. And then we're going to go into that. No, so in general, legally, yes. Okay, your x-axis is horizontal and your y-axis is vertical. But when we have a horizontal line, so it's not the axis, when we have a horizontal line that is parallel to the x-axis, then we're going to have y equals. And when we have a vertical line that is parallel to the y-axis, we're going to have an x equals. Okay. Guys, quickly before we do a brain break, please, those of you who know that polls normally end a lesson, this is not the end of the lesson. We just want to do something midway while we have all of you here, and then we're going to go into our brain break. There's a quick poll. I just want to explain it before Yolanda pops it up for us. It's asking you this section that we're doing now, these straight line graphs, okay? It's all the poll is asking is, have you done it in class already? Have you not done it in class already? Or are you currently doing it in class? Okay, so it looks scary because it's saying functions and relationships. It's just about this work that we've been doing in this course. So straight line graph. Okay. All right, Yolanda, can you pop that poll up for us? Okay, so you just need to answer yes, no, or currently busy with it. Okay, nice and quick, guys. Keep them coming. And then once we've got everyone's answers, we're going to go into our brain break. Ah, is this Alvarez? Alvarez under a pseudonym. Hello, how are you?
Alvarez is back.
Alvarez is back.
Hey, Alvarez. We missed you. Everyone is like been talking about where is Alvarez.
Yeah, and then our second class is the day, the one that starts at 6. They were like, "Where's Alvarez?" We're like, "We don't know." Alvarez
Class
is
is never the same without Alvarez.
Okay, so those of you answering me in the chat, you don't need to answer in the chat. You just need to do the poll. So it's just yes, no, or currently busy with it. So have you done it? Have you not done it? Are you currently busy? And as soon as you finish the poll, we're going to go into our brain break. There's still quite a few of you who need to answer, so just answer up. Oh, okay. All right, guys.
Hey guys, are we done?
I think we're gonna need to close up the poll.
Okay, let me just try and take a screenshot for it. Okay, we are good.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to quickly go into our brain break, and then we're going to go into points of intersection. So our brain break today is slightly different, but sort of the same. I think you'll be okay. I would like to know what my question mark is. I would like to know what that question mark is. Let's see who can figure this one out. And if you want to if you want help along the way, so like if you want to just confirm things, you're welcome to ask questions along the way. So if you want to just sort of check about something, you're welcome to put it in the chat. That's okay. Don't panic.
You guys are doing well, my babes. You are doing well. You're nailing this class.
Okay, so we've got some answers coming in. Let's have a look. Let's try to break this up for some of our poor people who are new and haven't seen these questions like this before. What would be what is going to be the answer for each of these? What are each of these going to be equal to? That's the first place we would start. What would each of those be equal to? So what plus what plus what is going to give us 48? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so together they are 16, but they are 2 trucks, which means each truck is 8. Okay, good. So we now know that that truck is 8, and we know that that truck is 8. Okay, so that gives us some hope. So if we know that that truck is 8, then what are these ships going to be? So what times what plus 8 is going to give us 57. So then what are the ships going to be equal to? Seven, yes, Karen, yes. Okay, so 7 times 7 is going to be 49, and 49 plus 8 is going to give us 57. Okay, but here we've got 2 ships, which means it's going to be 14. And this one down here is going to be 14 because there are 2 ships. So now the last thing we have to figure out is our airplane.
I think Kira's hand is up to help.
Let's see. Kira, have you got an answer for us?
Yes, ma'am, but my answer's wrong. I think.
Oh
I don't
no,
know.
why? Okay, well, what did you say the 2 airplanes together were going to equal?
The 2 airplanes together equal, like my calculator was malfunctioning, it's giving me 144.5 and stuff like that.
What?
And it's like, yeah, because I added wrong, I think.
Okay.
My answer was 127. My answer was 127.
Okay, okay. let's see. Let's break it down and let's see what happens over here. Okay, Mike, yeah. What did you get for the next little part of this?
Isn't it 18 times 18?
Yeah, beautiful. 18 times 18, nice. Okay, so now it's a single plane, so that one's just going to be 9. So then what is our full answer going to be? There we go. Chamila's coming with the answer. Nice. 121.
Well done, people. Well done.
So all we do is 14 times 8 and then plus the 9, and we're going to get 121. So those of you who've never seen these before, they're not as scary as they look. Generally, start with the first line and find something easy, and then you use it to figure out the next 2 lines. Okay, so it's not too bad. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do one more question for tonight, and then we're going to jump into our quiz. So let's just move up back here. Okay, cool. So this is going to be a nice sort of combination. It's like a nice little revision of everything that we've done up till this point, and then one extra thing that we're going to be talking about, which is the point of intersection. Okay, so I'm going to read through this question. I'm going to give you some helping hands, and then I'm going to let you work through this yourself. So first thing you have to do is sketch the graph y equals negative 3x plus 6, and sketch the graph y equals negative 3. Okay, so this graph should be nice and easy after what we've just spoken about, okay, because that's basically what we did today. This graph is what we've been doing over the last 2 weeks. So what I want you to do, I'm just going to use a different color here, for the y equals negative 3x plus 6, I want you to find the coordinates of the x-intercept, and remember that's when y is equal to 0. And I want you to find the coordinates of the y-intercept, and that's when x is equal to 0. Okay. So I want you to find the coordinates of the x-intercept and the coordinates of the y-intercept, and then you'll be able to draw that graph. So you're going to find the x-intercept, you're going to make the y in this equation over here equal to 0. And to find the y-intercept, you're going to make the x in that equation equal to 0. Yes, so for this one over here, I don't want you to stress about it just yet. You can leave that one on hold for the moment. The one I want you to focus on right now is this one over here. Okay, So it's doing stuff that we haven't done in quite a long time. Let's see what you remember. I will obviously talk you through it. I'm just going to give you some time to try by yourself. Namaza, how can I help?
Sorry, ma'am. Can I answer?
I'm just going to wait for people to give it a go, but keep your hand up and then I'll unmute you once I've given people a chance, okay?
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so just give it your best go, guys, and then Namaza is going to talk us through this one. We're going to draw this beautiful graph. Because remember, we only need 2 points in order to draw a graph. Good, Brenda. Excellent. Brenda, if you're done, then I want you to also add this one over here. And see if you can figure out this bottom section. Let's see. Try to push yourself, Brenda. Good. Teresa, also, I want you to try and push yourself. See if you can answer the next few questions. Not to Melo. It's okay. Your brain is not braining.
You guys are doing well, though. You guys are doing great. Let's do this. I'm your cheerleader. I'm cheerleading every one of you. Let's go. I see you, Chikiwa. I see you. Aiden over there. I see you. Miriam, I see you. Bongiwe, I see you. You guys are chilled. Musa, you done with the question? You should put the answers, Pera. Let's do this.
Okay, Nomaza, you can talk us through. So let's start with the x-intercept. What am I going to do?
You are going to make y 0.
Good. Okay. Where do I go to from there?
I took my 6 and then I put it over on the other side,
Good.
which gave me -6.
Excellent. Next step.
And then I divided by -3 to get rid of the 3.
Beautiful. Yes. So what does x equal?
2.
Good. Okay, so what are my coordinates at that point?
That would be 2.
Yeah.
And then a 0.
Good.
I didn't do the code. Okay, perfect.
Yes, no, that's 100% right. Beautiful. Okay.
Well
Now
done.
my y-intercept. Okay.
I basically said y is equal to -3x, and then I substituted in the 0.
Mhm.
And then I said +6. That equation gave me 0 to the -3 times 0, and then it just left me with a 6. And then I
Good.
said y is equal to 6.
So what would my coordinates be there?
It'd be 0, and then dodgy colon, and then 6.
Dodgy colon, yes. Perfect. That's 100% right. Beautiful. Okay. Did you draw
Well
your graph
done.
after that?
Yeah.
That sounds like a very dodgy yes to me.
Because I did everything in my head, like fast and quick, because like I don't have a book with me. Ma'am, I just arrived from play practice and it's just not it. We're doing Greece and I can't.
I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt that you're just doing this in your head. I'm hurt. We need to see what you're doing. Okay, it's fine though. You did good. Next lesson, I want you, like at the beginning of the lesson, I'm going to call on you and I want to see your paper and your pen in the camera before we get going.
I'm already writing a name down.
Ma'am.
I'm writing the name down.
Okay, good. Okay, so what we've got now is all I've done is I've drawn our Cartesian plane and we're going to plot these 2 points. Okay, so our x-intercept, I'm just going to give ourselves a couple of values over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to do the same here for our negatives. Okay, and down here. Cool. So my x-intercept is going to be 2 and 0. Okay, that's this point over here. I'm going to draw it in. I'm going to write my coordinates, 2 and 0. My y-intercept is 0 and 6. I'm going to write in my coordinates. And I've done that one. And once we have 2 coordinates, we can always draw a straight line graph. We always do it with arrows, and then we need to give it its name. So we're going to y equals negative 3x plus 6. Okay, so if your graph looks something like that, then please give yourselves a high five. That's awesome. That's exactly what I want it to look like. Okay. Then we have to draw this graph over here of y equals negative 3. Now, is that graph, that y equals negative 3, is that going to be a vertical graph or is it going to be a horizontal graph? If it's y equals negative 3, is it going to be vertical or is it going to be horizontal? Which one is it going to be? Y equals negative 3. Oh. Draw our line in. Okay, so that's a negative 3 over there. We have a horizontal line. That's going to be our y is equal to negative 3. Okay. Cool. Now, my graph is drawn really messily, so we're not going to be able to see the point of intersection nicely. Hopefully your graphs look a little bit neater than mine, but I do want to just quickly talk to you about it. I can't spend a lot of time because we are running out of time drastically. This point over here, where our 2 graphs meet each other, is called a point of intersection. Okay? Intersection, there we go. A point of intersection is where 2 graphs meet. Okay, so in this case, that would be a point of intersection. Now, if I wanted to know what the coordinates of that point of intersection are, I could say, well, in the equation, y equals negative 3x plus 6, I know that my y value is negative 3 because that's what my y value is on my rainbow graph. So I'm allowed to just substitute this in over there because I know that it's the same. So I can say, well, negative 3 is equal to negative 3x plus 6 because I'm trying to find the x value when y is negative 3. I'm going to move my 6 over. So I'm going to have negative 3 minus 6 equals negative 3x. So negative 9 is equal to negative 3x. Divide both by negative 3, and we'll see that x is 3. So I suppose my graph wasn't too bad. Okay, and so my point of intersection would be 3 and negative 3. That's what a point of intersection is. Hopefully, guys, I'm just going to zoom out so you can take a screenshot if you would like one. Hopefully, something in today's lesson turned on some kind of light bulb. Doesn't always happen. We don't always get lots of light bulbs, but if we even get one, that's better than none. Good luck for your last quiz that you have on straight line graph.